Your car doesn't need a body shop bill to lose that ugly dent. Sometimes it just needs the right puller, used the right way. Today, you'll see 7 dent pullers ranked from works in a pinch to the one that actually makes you feel like a pro. 7. Wasaiqi Dent Puller. The Wasaiqi set is the kind of quick grab option that looks promising because it's simple. It's basically suction cup dent pullers meant to grab a smooth panel and pop a dent out with pulling force. In testing, it felt like the least intimidating tool in the lineup because there's no glue, no tabs, no complicated setup, just clean the area, press, lock the handle, and pull. The kit is commonly described as a 3-pack style setup, typically including 1 larger suction puller and 2 smaller ones, which is handy because different dents need different cup sizes to seal properly. On larger, flatter dents, especially on broad panels where the metal isn't sharply creased, the big cup can sometimes give you that satisfying first pop if the surface is perfectly clean and smooth. But here's where the downsides show up fast. Suction tools are picky. If the dent is on a curve, near a body line, or the panel has even slight texture, the seal tends to break at the worst moment, and you waste time reseating it over and over. In real use, it felt like the tool was fighting the shape of the car more than it was fighting the dent. Another limitation is power consistency. The large suction cup is often marketed with strong pull force numbers, but in practice, that max pull depends heavily on surface condition and how perfectly you set it. On cooler panels or slightly dusty paint, it didn't feel reliable enough to be the only tool you own. Number 6. Polisak Dent Puller. This Polisak option lands at number 6 because it pushes beyond suction and into the paintless dent repair kit concept, usually including an adjustable bridge puller that can adapt to different dent sizes and shapes. That adjustability matters because a bridge puller lets you pull from the center while balancing on both sides of the dent, which is the right idea for controlled repair. In testing, the big advantage was control. With a bridge-style puller, you can increase tension gradually instead of yanking like you do with suction tools. And that can reduce the chances of over-pulling the metal into a high spot. It's also a more flexible approach than suction because it's not dependent on an airtight seal. The catch is, kits like this often depend on glue tabs, and glue pulling is sensitive to technique. Glue temperature, surface prep, and tab choice can make the difference between clean pull and tab pops off instantly, and that learning curve is real. Early pulls in testing felt inconsistent until the glue was truly hot and the panel was properly cleaned. Another drawback is that some kits in this category don't include as many pull tabs in useful shapes as you'd want for finishing work, which can leave you stuck doing almost fixed dents with no perfect tab to match the last little low spot. When a kit doesn't give enough variety, you end up compensating with technique instead of letting the tool do the work. 5. VEVOR Dent Removal Kit. VEVOR brings the first truly all-in-one feeling kit in the countdown. Their dent removal kits are described as including a bridge puller, a slide hammer, suction cups, puller tabs, glue sticks, and even a hot glue gun, so you're not scrambling to buy the essentials separately. In hands-on use, that completeness is the biggest win. You can switch methods depending on the dent instead of forcing one tool to do everything. The bridge puller becomes your precision tool for controlled pulls, especially on medium dents where you want steady tension. Then, when you need a bit more aggressive pulling power, like deeper dents where you need momentum, you can move to the slide hammer method without changing your entire setup. VEVOR also positions these kits as usable beyond cars, including repairs on things like refrigerators or washing machines, which match the general versatility seen with glue tab systems on different smooth metal surfaces. In testing, it felt like a garage kit more than a one-time car fix, because the variety of tabs and tools encourages experimentation and repeat use. The main challenge is the same one all glue systems have: preparation and patience. If the panel isn't clean, if you rush the glue set, or if you pick a tab that doesn't match the dent shape, you'll get messy pulls and more knockdown work later. It works, but it rewards careful technique rather than speed. Number 4. NJ Forever Dent Puller. This kit fits the home to pro sweet spot, a larger multi-piece set that's meant to cover most common dent scenarios without repainting. In testing, it felt like the first kit where the variety of included tools starts to reduce frustration, because you're more likely to find a tab or setup that actually matches the dent you're staring at. What stood out most was how these kits usually emphasize paintless repair, meaning the goal is to pull dents without damaging the factory finish when used correctly. With careful glue pulls and light knockdown work after each pull, the results started looking less like "I tried a tool" and more like "I repaired something." This is also the point in the list where repeatability improves. Instead of doing one big pull and hoping for the best, the kit encourages smaller, controlled pulls. Pull, check reflections, knock down high spots, pull again, like the standard PDR workflow you see in proper demonstrations. That workflow is what makes dents disappear instead of just change shape. The only reason it's not higher is that, like many larger kits, quality can vary from piece to piece. Some accessories feel excellent, others feel like backups you'll replace later. But because there's enough included to keep you moving, those weaker extras don't stop the repair from happening. If the goal is to have a capable kit at home for door dings, shallow dents, and even some hail-style damage, NJ Forever style multi-piece kits are where things start to feel genuinely dependable. 3. Polisak Car Dent Puller. The Polisak ranks higher than the earlier Polisak entry because the car dent puller kit versions tend to focus more clearly on adjustable pulling tools for different dent sizes, again highlighting adaptability as a core benefit. In testing, that adjustability translated into fewer wasted attempts because you can fine-tune spacing and pulling position instead of being locked into one geometry. This is where the bridge puller method starts to feel like a real advantage. Bridge pullers are designed to pull from the center while stabilizing on both sides, which helps reduce uneven pulls, especially on shallow dents where you're trying not to distort the surrounding area. When the dent wasn't creased, this approach delivered smoother progress with less yo-yo effect. What also helped was treating the process like a sequence, not a single event. With glue pulling, the best results came from using the right glue heat, waiting for proper set, then pulling gradually and correcting high spots with knockdown tools. Exactly the kind of step-by-step approach shown in PDR how-tos. Doing it this way made the dent fade instead of simply moving around. The kit's biggest value is for people who like mechanical control. If you're the type who'd rather turn a knob and increase tension steadily than swing a slide hammer, this style fits that mindset and can feel more surgical. It's a calmer workflow, and that reduces mistakes. So number 3 goes to Polisak's car-focused adjustable kit style because it delivers consistent, controllable pulling once technique clicks. Number 2. Bitlyle Dent Puller. It earns the spot because kits in this category are commonly described as very comprehensive, often including an adjustable lifter and a 2-in-1 slide hammer setup so you can switch between controlled tension pulls and more forceful pulling when needed. In testing, that flexibility mattered most on dents that were too stubborn for gentle pulling alone, but too risky to attack aggressively right away. The variety in a big kit also helps you match the dent. Different tabs and shapes let you target specific low spots, and that's how you avoid the beginner mistake of pulling the whole area when only the center needs lifting. When the tab matched well, the pull felt cleaner and needed less knockdown correction afterward. Bitlyle-style larger kits also shine when you're dealing with multiple dents. If you've got a door ding plus a shallow crease plus a hail mark, a bigger kit means you can experiment without hitting a dead end after 2 pulls. That makes it feel more like a long-term garage tool than a one-weekend gamble. Just like the others, it still demands correct glue practice. If the glue is not hot enough, adhesion suffers, and you'll see tabs pop off instead of transferring force to the metal, something many users run into early on with glue systems. But once dialed in, This kit gives enough tool variety to keep improving rather than giving up. Number 1. Super PDR Dent Puller. It fits the most proven style of paintless dent removal for DIY users. Glue tabs plus a controlled puller mechanism that lets you steadily apply tension instead of relying on suction seals or brute force yanks. In testing, it delivered the most consistent, repeatable improvement. Pull, adjust, pull again, without feeling like the tool was guessing. What makes this style feel top tier is precision. You glue a tab to the dent, position the puller over it, and then wind tension in a controlled way, basically turning the repair into a measured process rather than a sudden pop. That control is exactly what helps avoid overpulling and makes finishing easier, especially if you're patient and work the dent in stages. Super PDR kits are also often shown with complementary tools like a knockdown tap-down tool and interchangeable tips, which matters because clean dent repair isn't just pulling, it's also correcting the tiny high spots you create while pulling metal back into place. In use, that pull then refine rhythm is what made the final result look smoother in reflections. Another big win, reusability. Demonstrations of Super PDR style glue tabs often emphasize that tabs can be reused, and in testing, that reduced the feeling of consumables disappearing every session. It's a small detail, but it makes the kit feel more professional and less disposable. Final thought. That's all for today, folks.